PSA was made to inform us about the environmental impacts we've had.
So some people don't. People start pollution, people can stop it.
How would he see us today?
BP has lost roughly $30 billion in market value.
They apparently didn't think oil would ever reach the shore. And they also predicted most of the oil would evaporate or break up in the wave.
What do you know about the oil spill?
I haven't heard about it.
We're supposed to take environmental impacts into account when we're making development decisions, but in real life, we don't have air monitors to know what the air quality is already.
It became just very, very extreme. We were chasing fire reports all over the place. People were being woke up in the middle of the night with their houses on fire. The winds were severe. Ash and embers were everywhere.
So he says there may be those who think there hasn't been urgency.
Those who think that it hasn't been enough urgency is pretty much everybody who I've talked to. People are, of course, incredibly frustrated with the amount of time that has passed, with the amount of information that seems to be missing, with the fact that BP seems to be spreading misinformation and that the White House doesn't seem to be doing anything to hold them accountable for that lack of information that it's giving to the residents down here.
This has been our highest priority since this crisis occurred. So this notion that somehow the federal government is sitting on the sidelines and for the last 3 or 4 or 5 weeks we've just been letting BP make a whole bunch of decisions is simply not true.
During the BP Gulf oil spill, I remember seeing several PSAs and commercials regarding it. I distinctly remember seeing one about Dawn soap and how it treated the wildlife that has gone through the oil spill.
We were actually traveling out of town, and so we had heard that there were fires in Ramona, but we're in Rancho Bernardo, so that's a long, long ways away.
In an instant, Parks employees had to go from ordinary stewards of the land to emergency workers.
You couldn't see where you were going, you couldn't see what the names of the streets were. All you could tell was everything was on fire and everybody was panicking. They were panicking to get out as we were racing to get in to try to protect their homes.
I, for one, directly remember living through the 2007 San Diego wildfire while never being affected by it.
Now, the American Lung Association released its annual State of the Air report today. The study looked at ozone and particulate pollution levels collected between 2015 and 2017.
I became aware of the simpler problems of air pollution when I was 6. Since then, I've been rather curious about it.
Now, our scientists and outside experts have met through the night and continue this morning to analyze the data from the well integrity test. What they're working to determine is whether we can safely shut in the well using the new cap without creating new problems.
I woke up, I rounded up the folks in our community here.
To begin the process of rebuilding the parks, the first thing that we had to do was assess the damage. We assembled teams very rapidly to go out and do a thorough examination of the parks. It included people from multiple departments, even federal and state government officials, all brought on site to assess the damage.
My message to the residents of the city of San Diego is be prepared. You have to be prepared for a wildfire every day of the year.
In addition to the chemicals that are in the air from smog and from traffic, from having too many cars on the road, in addition to all of that, something that you can identify really clearly is when you have very strong fragrance products. And again, that's phthalates, artificial musks. Those are another type of chemical that are often creating that really strong fragrance. So that's something I really notice in my daily life. As a streetcar and subway rider,
Your electric cars are working. So is walking to the grocery store and solar panels on your roofs.
In the midst of the fight against air pollution, children all over the world have held climate strikes, influenced by then 15-year-old Greta Thunberg.
Being a kid, I shouldn't have to stand up here defending my future, but I am. And believe it or not, the very people who are responsible for keeping me safe are the main cause of the problem.
CSUSM held its first climate strike hosted by the ESA in September of 2019. I managed to participate in it with a sign telling others to think about the planet's future for their children.